Nature sometimes presents such incredible sights
Oh my God!
Andrew, what did I tell you about that?
that even experts are left baffled and scratching their heads.
我去，我也去知道了名字，也去。
Rather, it's an unbelievable phenomena that occurs once in a while or breathtaking incidents. These moments are so extraordinary that they feel like one in a million. Get ready to witness these truly astonishing events. A group of tourists in Wandan had a rather impressive yet creepy experience when they saw a mud volcano spewing up loads of mud up to 2 to 3 meters in the sky. The fire in this scene adds a more sinister look to the whole scene. Some even compared it with the entry to the doors of hell. This was the third time that the mud volcano was seen in its full might, and it became a major attraction for several people on site. The perfect golden hour in the background and the majestic scenes even made it look straight out of a sci-fi movie. A blazed tree.
This is a look at what storms can do. Lightning split this tree and lit it ablaze.
This video showed that some things can be creepy yet beautiful at the same time. The tree was standing perfectly fine and was still on fire from within. This whole scene was caused by Mother Nature. Despite the superstitious claims of people calling it an entrance to hell, this was actually the work of lightning that struck the tree and made it more of a chimney. No wonder anything is possible when it comes to nature. Atomic wonder. Seems like a perfectly calm scene, right? Wait for the watery surprise. See? This massive water wall was created as an experimental atomic activity underwater, conducted to test the strength and impact of these weapons. This footage was from the testing of Wahoo Blast done in 1958. This sprayed dome had reached a whopping 840 feet within 7 seconds of pushing the button. Impressive, right? Well, this experiment was quite heavy on the marine life present in the water, and it had quite some impact on radioactive levels as well. Underground hell. Flames erupting from beneath the ground? Could there be an underground hell located in this area? Well, that's exactly what the locals and online viewers thought of when they saw this eerie scene. Some were even daring enough to poke the area with a long stick, just to check how these flames were coming up from the ground.
Oh my God, it's hot. Woo.
I did some digging, and here is a logical explanation behind the sighting. The gases in this area were escaping from this part, and someone lit it on fire. This is why no matter how much he poked the ground with a stick, the flames kept coming back. Geyser. Now that was exciting to look at. These people were at the right time and place to witness a geyser in its full might. The water eruption was so intense that it sent the water flying several meters in the sky.
Oh my God!
Andrew, what did I tell you about that?
This phenomenon occurs due to the buildup of pressure from heated water and steam in underground chambers, which eventually forces the water to be expelled forcefully through the surface, opening up of the geyser, creating this breathtaking phenomena. Mud volcano. Now, that looks like a rather thrilling sight to witness. This video surfaced on the internet, and it had everyone awestruck at the sheer power and magnitude of nature. It was actually a mud volcano in its full might. These natural marvels occur when underground gases such as methane mix with water and push mud up through the Earth's surface. Unique rain. Looks like nature decided to cover this area in mud. Residents in Switzerland experienced a rather Horrific sight one morning when their streets got covered in these massive blobs of mud reaching immense heights in the sky. Luckily, everyone had been evacuated to safe places in time, as the experts had estimated about such conditions beforehand. This was a result of a mudslide that happened after melting snow. These people will have to spend quite some time cleaning their vehicles after all this. Transformed desert. Locals in the desert were amazed yet terrified to see the arid sands get covered with gushing water. Some online viewers were even persistent that this was not water, but chunks of melted ice taking over the sand. Another video showed a man excitedly picking up hails from a flowing river in the desert. Now, you don't see that every day. While some were calling these signs of ending times, others had a more logical explanation. According to them, even though it is rare, it is still possible for deserts to receive enough rain for such scenes to occur. What do you think about it? Blue sky. This is what you call being at the right time and place. This girl was simply filming herself with the front camera when she caught an interesting sight live. The sky above her turned completely blue when a meteor passed over her head. Just look at her face. She could not even believe it herself that this actually happened. So next time, be ready with your cameras. Who knows when nature might surprise you with a bang. Tree branch. A person went out to enjoy the winds and got quite a surprise when he saw this peculiar sight happening right in front of him. The tree branch had broken off from the tree and was still floating close to it. Now, we don't see this happening every day, right? Well, there are the typical theories of glitch in the matrix. Here is a rather logical side too. It could be that the winds were carrying this branch perfectly balanced with the right upward and downward thrust. Foam City. Locals from Moolaba, Australia came across a rather odd sight when their whole town was covered in loads and loads of foam. It was like one of the most bizarre dreams was coming true. These people made the most of the experience as they played in the foam, took pictures in it, and watched it fly all over the traffic lights. But what was the reason behind a whole city turning into a bath bomb? It was all a trick from nature. Fast winds from the ocean had brought the sea foam with them and blanketed the East Coast in a nice lather. Muddy beach. This is the last thing anyone would expect to see at a normal visit to the beach. A group of tourists filmed this bizarre scene unfolding right before their eyes as bulks of mud started jumping out of the ocean. And it was almost like some kind of monster was about to come out of there. Could this be nature's own version of Godzilla? Well, that was not the case. This was a mud volcano showing off its full might. Although it is rare, these muddy eruptions can take place underwater in the ocean as well. So look out for these sights next time you go to a beach vacation. New land. In the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, a group of scientists noticed this rather groundbreaking sight. The sea was ready to give birth to a new piece of land. Just in front of their eyes, the water rose from the surface, and intense bubbling started happening all over the place. This was actually nature's way of welcoming the new land. According to experts, this happens due to underwater volcanic activities that push the mass of land upward. With every passing minute, the fumes of a mix between land and water rise up. But the mission to bring new life to life does not always succeed. Flaming Earth. Just like captured in Wandon, this scene left viewers wondering if they were actually seeing this happening on Earth. The visitors in Kaohsiung, Taiwan were present at the right time and place to view a mud volcano in all its might. with the dramatic effect of blazing fire. Taiwan is known for hosting several mud volcanoes in one place. These are unique geological formations where mud, water, and gases are expelled from underground, often creating fascinating landscapes like this one. Underground blasting. Videos like this are just too satisfying to watch. But don't worry, it was not a sandworm getting ready to take over the world. This was the controlled explosions done by professionals to make way in the hard, rocky areas to lay pipelines or other underground work. So if you ever see one happening in front of you, don't worry, it's just a bunch of workers carrying out their duties. Reverse gravity. This is the place where gravity seems to stop working and the water moves with its own heart. Situated in Maharashtra, India, this unique geological formation is known as the reverse waterfall, or upside-down waterfall, located near the hill station of Bandahara in the Western Ghats. This phenomenon occurs during the monsoon season, when the Wilson Dam overflows. The overflowing water is carried over the edge of the cliff, and due to the strong winds in the region, is pushing back upwards, creating a stunning visual effect that resembles a waterfall flowing upwards. Wobbly ground.
Isn't anymore.
Okay. Never seen this before in all my life, but apparently...
Wait. Oh, okay.
These men noticed a giant bubble in the ground and decided to check what was going on there. Holding a stick, he got on top of the bubble and tried to pop it. And there it was. All the water accumulated under the grass surface came pouring out. Now you don't have to worry here. This can happen naturally when an area receives too much rainwater, becomes trapped under the grass, creating a pocket of water between the soil and the grass. So if you ever find one, don't hesitate to pop it up. Magic barrier. Sailors at the ocean were mind blown to witness two colors of water in the same spot, but not mixing with each other. It was almost like there was an invisible barrier present somewhere between them. Although it looks in this manner, there is a real-life explanation for this magical sight. This is where the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean meet. Both the oceans have different temperatures, salinities, and densities, creating a boundary that slows their mixing. It's amazing how nature works sometimes. Glowing water. As dreamy as it looks, this is actually possible at a beach in California.
Oh, yes.
Tourists rush to these waters to enjoy the waves and the vibrant hues of blue created by the slightest disturbance on the water's surface. The secret here lies in the bioluminescent microorganisms present in the water. These tiny plankton emit light when they are disturbed, such as by waves or movement in the water, and it creates this beautiful scene that makes it look like an otherworldly place. Sand formation. A man was feeding the fish at Wiley Lake in Aberdeen when he noticed a rather unique formation on the riverbed.
So while I'm feeding the fish, every time I come out here, I notice this thing.
It was like a tiny mountain of sand spewing out even more sand from its center. And honestly, I could look at this marvel the whole day. According to this visitor, the sand formation had been there since the start of summer.
Out here, I noticed this thing, and at the beginning of the the beginning of the spring, summer, when I first started doing that this year.
And he just couldn't understand what it exactly was. Some suggested that this could be a sand volcano, but its true origins have not been understood yet. Fiery driveway.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
A man went out to see this bizarre sight unfold right on his driveway. He had to put some gasoline on the snow and it lit on fire, thinking that it would be a faster way to get rid of it all. His little trick created this fiery tornado that almost looked like it was gonna take over the whole area.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
but soon diminished within minutes. Even though it looks interesting, it's best to not use such tricks unattended. Hairy tree.
Ya nada más. Vaya. Ay.
Looks like this tree needs a haircut, or maybe a warning sign to stay away. A man noticed these black, long hair-like structures on a tree, and when he poked around a bit, hundreds of arachnids came out to greet him. Now, I certainly was not expecting that. These were actually daddy longlegs, peacefully resting in one place, until someone decided to poke them up. Duck Union. These ducks were passing through the lake, and they came across a small hurdle, but nothing was going to stop them from sticking together. They all gathered around and passed together through the small insertion in the ice. Now that's what you call the right teamwork. And self-deteriorating. A man captured in the moment, he dropped a sack in the pond, and it instantly started dissolving in the water. Although it looks kind of creepy, the reality behind this video is rather simple. This man had used healthy bacteria to maintain the health of his pond. The bacteria eats the scum and algae in a pond to keep the water clear and creates a healthy environment for the fish. Green Ocean.
Yo, look all the people down there, look, just watching my...
These beachgoers had a rather interesting experience when they saw a mysterious green light emerging from the depths of the ocean. They were so shocked by this odd sight that they just stood there and had no idea what to do next. They simply stood there and recorded the whole scene and decided to share it online, claiming that an unknown monster was making its way to the surface. While it may seem like it, this was actually a group of scuba divers using lights to navigate through the water. Devil's Eye. In the heart of the desert lies this Devil's Eye, a geothermal marvel known as Aiken Spring. This natural hot spring is a circular pool, and its crystalline blue waters act as a stark contrast to the arid surroundings. The spring is heated by geothermal activity, with water temperatures often exceeding 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Bubbles rise continuously to the surface, creating an otherworldly mesmerizing effect. The Devil's Eye is not just a visual wonder, it hosts a delicate ecosystem of microorganisms that thrive in extreme conditions, showcasing nature's incredible adaptability. Shining Beach. We all know of the bioluminescence beach in California, but the waves in Karachi, Pakistan even took up these amazing scenes. When the sands of Sea View Beach turned a vibrant blue, it was unlikely to happen here as these things have never been seen in the area before. Tourists were overjoyed at these amazing sights and gathered around to get a glimpse of the phenomena. The same microorganisms that caused this vibrant blue glow in California were at play here, taking the residents by surprise. Eggplants in lunch.
اون چیه اون پشت؟ اون چیه؟ اون یه چیزی داره میریزه.
If you love eggplants, then I would highly recommend going to Tehran, because here these vegetables literally rain from the sky. Here's a video proof if you don't believe me. It was uploaded to the internet in March 2020 and had everyone wondering what kind of weather engineering was going on behind closed doors. The people ran to take cover from these vegetables hurtling down on them. Until now, they're still clueless about what happened that day. There are theories that maybe these vegetables were swept away by fast winds, but authorities never confirmed anything. Unique hairstyle. These people were enjoying their time in the open area when nature decided to give them a rather funky look.
Must be the yeah. Well, no, it's the thunderstorm.
Just in seconds, their hair started standing upright, and it almost looked like someone had held them with gel. This has happened with several people on different occasions, and although they were all enjoying this scene, It was actually an alarming situation. The hair-raising happens when a static cloud is present nearby, and there is a high chance of getting in the way of lightning as well. So if you ever come across such a situation, make sure to take shelter as soon as possible. UFO lights? If aliens ever invaded our world, I'm pretty sure it'll look like this.
It's like green, yellow, red, green, yellow, red, and then it like changes.
Locals in Winstead came out to witness these strange lights taking over the skies.
Oh, which is crazy. Like, these pictures don't do it justice.
And even they could only think of an alien invasion. But there's nothing to worry about, as there is a logical explanation for even strange sights like these. It was actually light pillars that had illuminated the whole sky. These happen when light is reflected off ice crystals, suspended in the atmosphere, creating this whole alien-like scene right on our planet. Bubbling mountain. We've all seen mud erupting from the ground, but this is something different. Locals in Algeria noticed the sight when the mountain started spewing out this odd slurpy material of light cream color. While many were gathered around to film this thing, no one had a proper answer for what was going on here. Some were calling it bizarre signs of ending times, while others were blaming the earth for boiling out this slurpy mixture of mud and water. I'm pretty sure it was the second case of a natural phenomenon. Cry for help. Tourists in China had a rather creepy trip to the mountains when they started hearing creepy sounds coming from the area. Since the landscape was too vast, it was getting hard to track where this was coming from. Soon, a video from this incident had taken over the internet and had everyone speculating that a dragon was living in those mountains, and this was its call for help. Now that sounds scary. Experts have also taken a look at these bizarre videos, and even they are clueless about what is going on there. Could there really be dragons waiting to come out? Tree fountain. Locals in Montengaro were surprised to walk in the park one day and find this unusual tree spouting water out like it was a fountain. Now, normally trees keep their water to themselves, but this one decided to give it out to the world. It was all because of the extra rain it received, and the pressure on its roots pushed the water up to the trunk, where it escaped from the hole in the area. Now, even though it looks odd, it is a natural phenomena. Fiery broom. What kind of witch sorcery was going on here? This video of a man using his broom and the particles turning into fire had everyone loaded with questions. Could this man have some sort of a spell? Or he had accidentally gotten his hands on a witch's broom? Well, I really can't crack this one. So if you have any questions on what was happening here, share it in the comments below. Live hell. If you didn't believe in hell, then this video will make you think again. A tourist was shocked to find an underground mine lit up with fire, and there was no way it was going to stop that anytime soon. Many people even compared it to a real-life hell, and that the people with bad deeds were present in the darkest areas of this pit. The authorities claimed that this was actually a coal mine that was accidentally lit on fire by the workers while working in the area, and it had been burning ever since due to availability of enough fuel. Lake of Fire. This was not the opening scene of a sci-fi movie. It was actually an uncontrolled problem at a recycling plant. The firefighters immediately reached the site and saw this horrific scene. It almost looks like it was straight from a horror movie. According to different sources, a car had fallen in this pit full of sulfur and caused this sight. Luckily, everyone had left on time and were safe from getting trapped in this fire. Moving islands. I know it sounds a bit weird, but this was actually a bunch of people trying to push a piece of land away from the bridge using their boats. Every year, a bog of dozens of trees and jumbled up grass blocks the traffic over Chippewa Lake, And this is when these heroic people use their boats in a rather creative way. No one really knows how or when this bog was formed, but luckily there are people to fix this problem. Burning grass. I had no idea that watching grass burning up could be this satisfying. A resident from Spain witnessed this rather interesting sight in the park nearby and was tempted to make a video. But you don't have to worry, this was just poplar fluff being burned away to reveal the lush green grass underneath. Surprisingly, it does not harm anything in its way. Smoky forest. We all have seen odd things unfold in the forest, but I bet you've never seen anything like this before. A hunter could not believe his eyes when he came across strange smoke that seemed to have no apparent source or anything similar. Now, there have been several theories trying to solve this weird sighting. Some stated that a ghost was smoking in the area, or it might be a natural phenomena yet to be discovered. But no proper explanation has come forward regarding this video. Methane lake. I know it looks like some mini alien civilization under the water, but this was again the artwork of nature. This rather interesting pattern was actually methane gas trapped in the frozen lake. But it's not just its otherworldly looks that impress the people. Some visitors even have fun with them. They make tiny holes on the surface and light it with flames, as methane is highly combustible. The scene gets even more interesting at nighttime, as the flames are more visible. So if you ever want a memorable day at the lake, choose one with these methane bubbles. Glitching river. A TikTok user shared his strange experience at the river when he noticed a dome-like structure forming on top of the water's surface. There was no visible source that could indicate how this was happening, and it had everyone buzzing with theories of UFOs hiding in plain sight, or even glitching in the Matrix. Well, I don't know about you, but I believe that this was nature pulling a new trick. If you know what was happening here, share in the comments below. Eggs from ground. This bizarre video showed eggs popping out from the ground with flames, and it had everyone questioning what they knew about reality. Normally, these eggs are supposed to come from hens, right? Then how were they hatching from the ground? Well, it was getting hard to solve this mystery. Some viewers suggested that the person who filmed it somehow managed to pull this prank off on their own. I really hope it was the case, because there's no way I can eat eggs made like that. Ice flowers. In the cold mornings of polar regions, a rare and beautiful sight appeared: frost flowers. These are not your typical flowers that bloom and spread fragrance. It is made of thin sheets of ice. These delicate formations form on thin sea ice or wet surfaces when the air is very cold, below -8 degrees Celsius and humid. Water vapor turns directly into ice, creating tiny ice structures that look like crystal flowers. The fragile ice flowers can disappear quickly with a slight breeze or a small rise in temperature. So if you're planning on experiencing this marvel, you better be quick at it. Worst nightmare.
There's a bunch of dead ones all over the floor.
Look at the pump handles.
Oh my god.
If you're afraid of insects, then this video is going to elevate your nightmares. Residents of Burlington lived a real-life apocalyptic scene when their fuel stations were crowded by
God. No, go around it so we can see the whole things.
rather peculiar customers, mayflies. These tiny critters were covering every single inch of everything you looked at. But this is no odd sight for the people living here. The insects are drawn by an ancient call of nature as they gather around to mate after spending their time in nearby Lake Champlain. Pollen bomb. Just looking at this video is making me allergic. Some workers from Millville, New Jersey, slightly nudged the tree and accidentally detonated a whole pollen bomb. And this was not the only place such things were happening. Workers from different areas shared videos of seemingly normal trees releasing loads of pollen in the air. So if you're allergic to such things, make sure you take good care. because all that pollen out there is ready to get you. Paper tree. This might look like an average tree trunk, but wait till they start moving it around. You must be wondering how this was possible, and the reality is simple. These people had made the art piece from thousands of paper pieces and binded them in a way that looks like a tree and even moves around like a serpent. It's time for today's open discussion. This dark orange smoke had taken over the whole area within a few minutes, and it had caught everyone's attention. People started rushing to check if someone needed their help, and were even gathered around in groups. It soon turned out that this was not the case, but this man was showing how to use these tools to call for help whenever needed. The Orange Life Smoke MK8 is a handy tool that every person on sea must have with them in case of emergencies. So if you ever see such a smoke, make sure you act quick to get help. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.